Today we'll be going through a character build of the Julanga Hunter, a human who reveres the Mokole Mbembe and will strike down at poachers who dare touch their herd. Hi, I'm Yovo and I'll be going through the core features of the build and discuss the decisions why they were chosen. We start with a human of the Zenji ethnicity, as they make up the majority of the Julanga tribe. While the tribe hunts the Mokole Mbembe, they consider their skulls and hides sacred and will defend them from poachers and outsiders. The versatile feat at level 1 grants a free general feat, and we can use this to get fleet. The extra 5 feet of movement will give us an edge, especially when tracking or chasing down Mokole Mbembe or poachers. We're also taking the general training feat to get another free general feat. Incredible Initiative will assist with getting the jump on enemies to either set up traps or take them out swiftly. Sense Allies at level 5 will assist the Julanga Hunters with keeping track of each other, especially when they go into stealth. And Group 8 acknowledges the tribe mentality with working and hunting together. Trained as a hunter since a young age, the skill of learning how to skin not only the Mokole Mbembe, but other commonly encountered creatures within the deep jungles. The Mokole Mbembe are dinosaurs that live in the jungles of the Garoon continent. They are powerful predators capable of hunting prey such as water buffalo and other predators such as leopards and crocodiles, and they are especially known for their violent clashes with hippopotamuses. The chosen religion is Gozre. Living in nature and far from modern civilization, the Julanga Hunter and their tribe revere and respect nature. We have the base class of a ranger, as our hunter will be primarily working with snares and traps to corral animals into areas for easier hunting or protecting areas and alerting the tribe of poachers. The hunter's edge is precision, to add additional damage to each shot. As most of the feats will be going towards snares, the hunter's edge will boost weapon strikes. Hunted shot, while is only able to be used once per round, increases the effectiveness of the initial strike. Coupled with precision damage, it makes use of the opportunity to deal significant injury. Snare Specialist is the first step to getting snares at no extra cost. As per the feat, the Julanga Hunter gets free snares depending on their crafting proficiency. We'll be going through some ideal snares later in the video. Quick snares will enable the snares to be usable in combat, albeit requiring to use all 3 actions to actually craft a snare. This would be for situations where there is time to set up and adapt to the ever-changing battlefield. Powerful Snare will allow lower level snares that have a secondary effect such as reducing speed or causing nauseation to have DCs that can affect stronger creatures. Lightning Snares is the upgrade to Quick Snares, where it reduces the craft time to 1 action, allowing quicker deployment in the correct location. And Ubiquitous Snares doubles the free snares available each day. At legendary proficiency, the Julanga Hunter would have 16 free snares. Lastly, Impossible Snares is to stretch out prepped snares by granting an extra use once per minute. This would be useful if there was a situation where the Julanga Hunter was expecting waves and waves of monster or people. The Snarecrafter archetype grants additional snare feats. Taking the dedication also grants free snares from a different pool to the Snare Specialist feat. Surprise Snare allows the Julanga Hunter to pick a snare and trigger it on a target within range. While it reduces the DC of the snare, it guarantees that it is triggered opposed to avoided with a successful perception check. Giant Snare increases the number of targets walking into the snares and triggering them, or when using Surprise Snare, catching multiple targets with a single trap. As with Ubiquitous Snares, this feat doubles the snares from the Snarecrafter archetype. This grants the Julanga Hunter 32 free snares. In summary, heroes are allocated the stats based on their ancestry, background, and class. We are focusing on dexterity as the Julanga Hunter will be fighting with a bow. Strength helps with dealing damage, especially when using a composite longbow. The other 2 free stat boosts are put into Constitution for longevity and Intelligence for crafting. Alternatively, the point in Intelligence can be allocated to Wisdom to boost Perception and subsequently Initiative. And here I organize the feats, which is also seen in the free character sheets in the description box below. The skills beneficial for the Julanga hunter includes crafting. This skill determines the number of free snares from the Snare Specialist and Snarecrafter dedication. Snare crafting is required to be taken as soon as possible to get access to the snare feat tree in the Ranger class. Specialty crafting is to assist the Julanga hunter when preparing and maintaining snares and traps that are designed to last longer than a day. Impeccable Crafter increases the effectiveness of the specialty crafting and speeds up the production of snares with critical successes. Stealth is to aid the Julanga hunter to stalk their prey or follow poachers to their camps to take them out. Terrain Stalker Underbrush was chosen as the jungle as the primary living and hunting environment of the Julanga tribe. Shadow Mark is used for poachers to track them down and allows the Julanga hunter to keep close. And Swift Sneak is to keep in pace with the poachers when they are running through the jungle to try and escape from the rest of the tribe. Survival is to help with tracking game for food or poachers that have managed to escape but were subjected to one of the traps and left a trail. Experience Tracker is similar to Swift Sneak in the sense it allows the Julanga hunter to travel full speed while incurring a penalty if their proficiency is lower than Legendary. And Terrain Expertise provides a bonus while in the homogeneous jungle environment. For equipment, our main choice of weapon is the composite longbow. Depending on the underbrush and environment, this can be considered difficult terrain and thus melee weapons may not be effective due to the penalties when moving. With defenses, we are starting out with a high dexterity score and pumping additional ability score increases leads to the Julanga hunter reaching the max dexterity cap on a number of armor pieces. While unarmored is an option, the Julanga hunter does not have any means of inscribing runes onto their bare bodies, and thus we are settling on the explorer's clothing. With snares, we have to have a snare kit to actually build the snares, whether by crafting or using the free snares given each day. The first snare is the alarm snare. This would be primarily used to alert the tribe when poachers or unknowns have approached the Makole Mbembe territory. Hampering Snare works well with setting up a perimeter around the target or enemy before combat, as if they chose to escape, this snare limits their escape routes and distance traveled. Marking snares work well with the alarm snares, as setting up these two in close proximity allows the Julanga hunter to effectively investigate and track down whatever triggered the alarm if the target or group chose to flee. The Stalker Bane snare is a variation of the marking snare, where it also changes the level of concealment on invisible creatures. Both marking snare and the Stalker Bane snare benefit from the powerful snare feat to boost the DCs, as both items are level 1 and 4 respectively. The Hobbling snare primarily reduces the movement speed on the targets, and would benefit from the Giant snare to hit a number of targets with a speed reduction. Nauseating snare can be quite detrimental to those caught within the effects. The Grasping snare is an upgrade to the Hobbling snare, where it can immobilize the target and waste their actions while they attempt to escape. The Striking snare deals a decent amount of damage and would be viable long term at high levels, especially when the DC to reduce the damage increases with the powerful snare feat. Bleeding Spine snare deals a little bit less damage than the Striking snare, but for living targets, the persistent 2d8 damage can be fatal, especially if they're unlucky with stopping the bleeding. The Stunning Snare's secondary effect of causing the flat-footed condition and stunned are very powerful conditions, especially given how criticals have changed. And lastly, Hail of Arrow Snare. The 20-foot radius around the initial square will hopefully target a number of creatures while dealing flat raw damage. The Julanga tribe controls the population of the Makole Mbembe within their territories and will ferociously defend them from any outsiders, setting up snares such as the alarms to alert the hunters of trespassers and damaging or marking snares for an unpleasant surprise. For those who tripped the alarms and made a run for it, the Julanga hunter can still track using their own skills. Once the encampment has been spotted, the Julanga hunter can approach and set up snares at choke points before unleashing a flurry of arrows to flush them out and activate the traps. And here we have a summary of all the chosen feats, skills, equipments, and snares discussed in today's video. We also have a character sheet available in the description box below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like and subscribe. Also comment your thoughts on the Julanga Hunter below. Till next time.